Hello, this is Faisal Insan, your favorite coach. And in today's session, we're going to talk about something extremely interesting to most people these days. I usually don't talk about what's going on in the news and what's going on in politics or any of that stuff, mostly because what's going on is usually a repetitive thing. It's a pattern, or it's something that happens over and over, and it's unnecessary to talk about a lot of those things because, generally speaking, a lot of those things are negative that happens within the mainstream media or whatever else that happens. And it doesn't serve our purpose here of growing and raising our perspective and awareness. But I feel like this is one of those topics that, one, it's a global, it's affecting all of us in so many ways. It is a serious challenge for a lot of people. I mean, especially well, right now, I mean, in Europe, it has been pretty disastrous in a lot of ways. But when you go towards North America, I feel like North America is able to handle it a little bit better. We're taking better precautions here in Canada and States. And amazingly, a lot of companies and governments are helping out for those who are going to be out of work and behind on their mortgage payments and all sorts of other things. And the government stepping up to help people too. So then why did I ask this question? How are you reacting to the COVID-19 pandemic, to this whole coronavirus business? One of the things as a high performance coach, I have to help my clients develop a better mindset, and not only mindset in general, but also how do they react to the situations in their life in a more positive and productive and purposeful way. And today I've actually been doing back-to-back sessions on purpose. How do we live more purposefully in our life? And this message is to anybody, but especially those who are leaders in their right, those who are leading other people within their community, within their family, within their work environment. Wherever you are as a leader, it is our responsibility to react to these situations in a way that doesn't incite more fear. Now, this is why I say this. When you look at how this situation arose, yes, it is a serious situation. Yes, we need to take precautions to deal with these things, washing our hands, to social distancing, to not gathering in big groups. All those things are important. But what almost always what the media tends to do, especially the mainstream media, is use this as a way to incite more fear, to create paranoia and hysteria around this. And especially those who consistently and constantly follow this through the lens of mainstream media, they tend to get affected much more negatively than those who didn't. Now, that doesn't mean that I want you to be not informed about this, but there are better channels to be informed about these things. For example, your government websites. So when I wanted to really look into this, I went to the Canadian government website. I went to the WHO website. I went to the CDC website to see what are the facts around this. And then I looked at a couple of articles related to it on news websites. But I specifically tried to avoid the video. And I did that on purpose because, and I have watched a couple of them, but I did that on purpose because I know that their job is to create fear. That's how they sell what they sell, and that's how they maintain their clientele for the most part. So what do we need to do in these times? How do we need to react to a situation like this? First of all, let's acknowledge the fact that this is a serious challenge. This is something that we need to deal with because, I mean, it's one of those things that's global. We're all dealing with it, and it might affect some of us much more than others. I'll just speak from my perspective and where I live right now. For example, in Canada, a lot of the businesses are shut down or people are working from home. There's a lot of classes and schools are being canceled, and people are exercising social distances so that they don't overload the the medical systems, emergency systems that will be inevitably needed for those who are at most risks, such as elderly and those who are, have immune system challenges. So I think all those things are amazing, and as a community, we're all working together to make this happen. The government is doing their part, the companies are doing their part. But what is our part as leaders, as human beings, as individuals? What do we do? Well, for one thing, we need to make sure that we are doing our part. We need to take social responsibility. We need to make sure we're clean, and we need to make sure that we are doing the social distancing aspects of it, and we need to make sure we're doing all those things recommended by scientists and the organizations that are dealing with this at a bigger level. But the other aspect of it is, how are we dealing with this psychologically? And that is big, because a lot of times it's not the thing that's the problem, it's how we react to this psychologically, whether at an individual level or a collective level. And usually for most people, what they do is they react in a response that a lot of biologists call fight or flight response. And we go into our fear mode, we freeze. Or we want to we hold back and we deny and we say that, well, this is not happening, this is not real, this is this and that. And then when it becomes more and more real, then we're like, well, I'm in fear mode, I'm afraid, so I'm going to keep to myself, I'm going to hoard every supply that there is in the world and for the next few months, and I'll make sure I survive. And screw everybody else, and that has happened. We've seen that reaction, but there's another aspect of this too. There's another way to react. Why do people react like this? Because that's the only way they know to react. It's not that most people are dumb or unintelligent or anything like that, but that is the only way that most people have been taught to react. We don't have the tools, the awareness or guidance to react better to these circumstances. That's part of the reason why I'm doing this video, and that's part of my job as a high-performance coach, to give people tools and awareness to help them react in a better way. So then how should we react? Well, first of all, let's look at the whole situation. Yes, we're in this. We have to accept that. We have to deal with the challenges, but it also has some amazing advantages for a lot of people. Most people, especially in the Western world, they are on this a cliche statement of a rat race. We're always running and trying to do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and it never stops. We don't take a moment to feel how we're living our life. We don't take a moment to connect with those that we care about. We don't take a moment to actually sit down and strategize our life, to design what we really want in life, what kind of lifestyle we're trying to create, what kind of business we're trying to create, what kind of work we're doing, how are we approaching our life. We're just reactionary for the most part. We react to whatever we're given to us, and we just copy everybody else around us and hope that other people have done the thinking for us. But the reality is that most people don't do the thinking. So it falls on each leader and each individual to do their part in this. So this might be an amazing opportunity for you to gain more knowledge, to read more, to gain a better perspective in your life, to actually sit down and do some thinking about, well, what are you doing in your life that you enjoy, that is meaningful to you? Are you connecting at a level that you should be with the people that you care about? Are you going towards the things that are meaningful to you? Are you going towards your dreams, towards the things that will make you more fulfilled? And if you're not doing those things, then it is the time for you to think about those things. Not just focus on, well, how am I going to protect myself in this situation? But it's a huge opportunity for you to do that. I can tell you in my personal life, one of the things that made the greatest difference about 6 years ago when I got laid off was it gave me about 4 to 6 months to re-strategize, to think about, well, what do I really want to do? And I really didn't want to be in that career because I realized I didn't really care about the technical field. I studied engineering and I spent most of my day looking at a computer, and I didn't really work with people, but I realized that I loved working with people, but I didn't know how to go there. So I took that time to really self-reflect, to really figure out what is important to me. What kind of life do I want to create? What kind of family do I want to have? What is meaningful to me? How do I want to grow within my life? What is my purpose? What is my vision for my life? And that was the foundation for everything that I've created. The business that I've created, where I'm affected in a very small way with this whole pandemic, even because I work from home. This is pretty normal for me. This is what I do. I talk to clients on video. I do live training, and most of my work is online. And it's not that it doesn't affect me, but it has affected me much less than most other people. Even at a social level, the way I look at this is that this could be an opportunity for us to grow, to learn more, to connect with others in a deeper way, to spend more time with those who most of us ignore. And my hand is up on that, because with our busy lives, we don't have a lot of times the time, or we don't create the time to spend more time with the loved ones. So take this opportunity, even among the social distances you are around your family, at least, unless they're exposed to the virus. But aside from that, the most important thing for you will be to look at this whole situation and ask yourself, am I just reacting to the way that others are reacting, the way the social media and the mainstream media is telling me to react? Or is there another way that I can react to this? Is there a conscious way? Is there a way where I can choose the emotions and the thoughts that I want to bring into my life? Do I want to be more encouraging and more positive within this time period, or do I want to be stuck in fear and take those who I'm leading along with me towards fear? And if you're doing that, I want you to take a few moments and sit down and figure out, is that serving you and your family? Are you spending most of your day just stuck to the TV and listening to the news? Or you're pausing, being informed, reading the literature, but also spending a lot of time learning about how to communicate better, learning about how to do your job better, learning to connect with those around you in a better way, learning to create a better life for yourself, to self-reflect. Are you doing any of those things? Are you taking care of yourself? I mean, one of the biggest things in this whole thing is that we don't have a cure for this kind of pandemic. So what's going to help us? Our immune system. Are you developing a better immune system? Are you moving more? Are you taking care of your nutrition? Are you laughing more? Are you connecting with others in a positive way, even if that's through the phone? But whatever the case is, I want you to assess these things for yourself, because how we react to this situation is much more important than what's happening. A lot of times it's fear that drives people towards much more negative. It's not the actual thing. So when you look at the stock market, when you look at all these things that are happening, it's people's reaction to what's happening. It's not actually the virus itself or the pandemic itself. It's the economy is going down because everybody became afraid. And I literally got an email a day or two ago from one of the biggest grocery chains in Canada, where they had to stress on the fact that we have enough food and supplies. You don't need to go to the store and buy everything for the next month or two. But what's happening? Everybody's buying food for God knows how long, and it's not letting other people have the supplies and resources that they need during this time. So are they reacting from a fear perspective, or are they reacting consciously to this, or being conscious about this whole thing? You decide that. So look at the facts, go to the sources that are credible. For example, your government sources, your WHO, CDC, whatever it is that you look at, and read rather than watch videos. And as much as you can, avoid mainstream media like the plague. And if you have to, then I recommend that you read it and do it as little as possible, and start looking at this maybe as an advantage, maybe as an opportunity to grow yourself, to connect with people around you more, to work on the things that you have been avoiding for such a long time. And I hope this video helped, and I hope you take this, especially if you are a leader, take this as a moment and as a time to lead better, to create a more positive environment, even among the chaos that's happening. I wish you the best throughout this time, and I wish you great success, health, and take care of yourself and be safe. And share whatever you want to in this video, and share this video with whoever you think will make a difference and impact on them. And thank you again for following this page, and I wish you the best and have a great day. Bye.